Santa Fe is the oldest capital city in America, and some say there's something different about the territorial treasures found around every corner.
You know what we're talking about if you've ever been to the La Posada Hotel. Well, tonight, Hawker Vanguard introduces us to Julia and her Eerie Enchantment.
This is the La Posada Hotel in Santa Fe. On any given night, you might find a familiar face checking in. Some say a certain visitor has never checked out.
Julia said that she loved her house so much she would never leave it, and supposedly she never has.
La Posada manager Marcia Skye says the original Staub home is the resort centerpiece, with additions placed around the Victorian mansion. You can still walk up the original front steps from the hotel lobby.
It was built by Abraham Staub for his wife Julia in 1881.
Historians say the German immigrant made his fortune capitalizing on westward expansion.
So he traded on the trail and eventually got contracts with the U.S. Army and became a millionaire by the time he was 26.
Skye says that's when he traveled back to Germany to find a wife. A longtime family friend, Julia, agreed to travel halfway around the world to make a home with Abraham in New Mexico.
She was a very elegant hostess in her day, very warm. She entertained frequently. She even entertained President Rutherford B. Hayes.
Though their fairy tale would be cut short.
It is true that her youngest child died when she was only a few weeks old. They did have 7 other children who lived to adulthood, but it definitely had an impact on Julia.
Some historians say that's when she turned reclusive and no one ever heard from her again. Though people at the hotel say Julia is doing just fine.
We hear everything from cold spots to orbs to actual sightings.
Especially if you go upstairs to room 100, the Julia Staub suite. If you want to go in, you better let Julia know she has a visitor.
Hello, Julia. We're bringing some people in to meet you.
The very room she called her own for decades is where guests say Julia appears. Skye remembers a man who was startled awake in the middle of the night.
At about 3 a.m., he sensed a presence. So he woke up and he walked from the bedroom area to the suite, and there, lo and behold, was Julia standing there, full body, apparition, solid. And Julia looked at him, and then when she looked at him, she dissipated into thin air.
The hotel staff agree. Not every guest has an experience with Julia. Still, they like to make sure she knows they're looking out for her.
We try very hard to be respectful of her, even in her death. We don't do anything like psychics or any of that. We get a lot of requests for it, but we won't do it because we want her to still enjoy the home that she enjoyed for so many years.
With this Eerie Enchantment, I'm Hawker Vanguard, KOB, Eyewitness News 4.